This is cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. We will be kind of live covering the shooting at Antioch High School. According to Metro Nashville PD, a shooting incident is under investigation at Antioch High School. 3 people have been wounded. It is now being reported by WSMV that 1 dead, 2 hurt in the school shooting at Antioch High School. That, of course, includes the suspect in some form or fashion who did shoot himself. Reunification site for parents is 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. Buses will be taking students there. You can also call 615-401-1712 for any kind of reunification information. The full address for the reunification spot is, according to Metro Schools, Antioch families, MNPS social workers, and guidance counselors will be available to support you and your student at the Family Assistance Site at St. Thomas, 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. And again, that reunification number to locate your student, 615-401-1712. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody at Antioch High School that is having to go through this, family members as well, teachers, employees, all that kind of stuff. We will keep you updated as well as more information comes in. So just stay tuned with us, and we will also carry the press conference live when it comes up on WSMV Channel 4. So, the high school shooting that was on lockdown due to shots being fired inside the school building. Metro Police arrived on the scene, and the person responsible for shooting is no longer a threat. It has been reported that he has shot himself as well. So as more information comes in, we'll keep you updated. This is my first time doing something like this, so bear with me if I'm stumbling over my words or missing information.
Try to, be informative, for all the parents out there who are at work and everything else. You just want to make sure we inform them to go to 615, of course, 401-1712 to get any information on where to pick up, locate your kid who are, family member there. It could be a teacher as well. Get all the, 411 of what's the next steps.
It's tough. It's tough to want to cover sports when something like this happens. I remember where I was during the Covenant school shooting a couple of years ago. I wasn't real interested in listening to sports. I posted up in front of a TV. So we're trying to, for those that are in your car, listen to this normal show, we're going to try and provide you as much information as it becomes available to us. Again, we are talking about the school shooting at Antioch High School, 1 dead, 2 hurt. If you are a parent and you need to figure out reunification plans, you can call this number, 615-401-1712 as well. We're keeping updated with the Metro School Twitter site. WSMV Channel 4 is on our TV inside the studio. And, of course, we also have the Metro Nashville Police Department Twitter account up, so we can have all kinds of avenues. And Jackson is all over behind the glass, doing the Lord's work back there, making sure that we stay informed, that you guys stay informed, that when the presser comes up, we'll be able to carry that live for you. Again, just the media staging is at MAPCO, is at 3800 Murfreesboro Pike, but all students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders will also be over there. They were all taken over there by bus. Okay. So make sure that if you are trying to find your child, that's where you need to go, 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. And we'll be joined here by the WTN news director, Ken Weaver. Will join us and talk about that as well, and kind of give us updates and all that kind of stuff. Again, there will be social workers and guidance counselors available to support family members and students at the Family Assistance Center at St. Thomas. Again, that address is 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, and the number to get reunification information is 615-401-1712. So definitely a sad situation. I could not imagine. I don't have kids. I have nieces and nephews. So,
Oh, man.
this is always a scary situation, but I don't have kids. You have kids. I mean, I can only imagine what it's like for a parent. Of course, your kids are grown, but like, I can't imagine what it's like for a parent to watch this go down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, you ready to rock and roll? Yeah, just sit right here. Yeah, we got Mr. Weaver is in here. Nick, yeah, but just use that mic. It doesn't matter. So to see continuous just horrific acts is just sickening for me. I don't care if you have family member, kids, or whoever's involved in a situation like this. So just a couple years ago, yeah, we had something there here as well. So it's just man, it's just
The one with the orange mic.
feel for anyone who's ever gone through that, because I don't know what I would do. Boy, my heart will be racing as a parent. Oh my gosh, you just kind of go through the panic mode. We're with Mr. Weaver there. Go ahead, talk. You ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
Give us a little update on what you know, and then information, maybe a little more detail of what people need to know and where to go.
All right. Well, Metro Police say that 3 people were injured in a shooting this morning in the cafeteria at Antioch High School right at about 11 o'clock. The shooter shot 2 people and then turned the gun on himself, as police put it. They haven't really said whether or not they were students or not. We don't necessarily have that confirmed from police yet. The Metro Nashville Public Schools says there's no longer a threat at Antioch High School. However, all of the other students are being bused to Ascension Medical Center, which is there on Murfreesboro Pike. They want all parents to go to Ascension Medical Center on Murfreesboro Pike to be reunited with their students. It's going to take some time. It's a pretty big school, and police are the ones who are releasing the students to get on the Metro Nashville Public School buses to be taken over to Ascension Medical Center. And this could take some time. So since then, we have learned that one of the people shot has died. The 2 others who are still alive are in stable condition. They were, at least 2 of them are at Vanderbilt. We don't know where the other one was taken. That's kind of unclear at this time. But 2 of the people shot were taken to Vanderbilt. And again, one of those people is dead. This is according to a Vanderbilt hospital spokesperson who did not say which of the 3 were dead. And what I mean by that, we don't know if it's the suspect or if it's one of the victims.
Got you.
Yeah, we're talking to Ken Weaver from WTN, the news director over there. We're discussing the shooting incident that's under investigation at Antioch High School. 3 people have been wounded. It's now being said that is 1 dead, 2 hurt.
Yes, sir.
Parents call 615-401-1712 for any kind of reunification information. Of course, St. Thomas is where reunification site for the parents is at. That's 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. And they will also be providing MNPS social workers and guidance counselors will be available for the families and the students at the Family Assistance Center, also at St. Thomas Sports Park. And once WSMV kicks it to the press conference, we will also carry that live as well. What information do we have, if any, about the motives of the reasoning behind why this happened?
We have no idea right now. And I don't even know, if police have that right now. Usually Metro Police is pretty quick to get out to the media at scenes like this, but this one looks to be particularly tricky because it's a very high traffic area. It's not very far off I-24 there. They've had to shut Hobson Pike and Murfreesboro Pike down there next to Antioch High School.
Yeah, because that's just a 2-lane road.
Just real quick, the presser is on right now, actually, so we're going to switch to that.
An individual wounded, also a female, has what is being described as a graze wound to the arm, and she is in stable condition at Vanderbilt. This investigation is being led now by the police department's homicide unit, and there is quite a bit of work to be done. That's all I have at this moment. I have no names to give you of the individuals yet. as we have already issued on social media, we have a family assistance center at Ascension across the street from us. There are a lot of school buses at Antioch, and those school buses are going to be transporting the students to this lot across from us here at Ascension. The initial plan was that even car riders would be transported by school bus just up the street to this family assistance center. We want to make sure that the entire campus is stabilized, including the parking lots, before we would release any vehicles of students who drove to school today. All right, I can take just a couple of questions before we go back to the scene, and again, there'll be more from this same spot in a brief time. There were 2 SROs in the building. They were not in the immediate vicinity of the cafeteria when this happened. By the time the SROs got down there, the shooting had stopped and the shooter had shot himself. Metal detectors or weapons detectors? I will let the school system answer that definitively. I did not see any metal detectors in the building, but that's a school system issue to address.
Vanderbilt told us a third student was taken in for an eye injury. Do we know anything about that?
There is a male student who has some type of a facial injury. It's not a gunshot injury, and I'm not sure if he fell or what was the cause of that, but there is another male student being treated at Vanderbilt who does not have a gunshot wound. He has some type of a facial injury, the cause of which I'm unsure about.
We spoke to the family of one of the victims. They only speak Spanish. Are there any resources available to these families that are being offered to them now? And can you confirm the ethnicity of the other victim who was also in the hospital?
Okay, I didn't hear the last part of your question.
Can you confirm the ethnicity of the victims at all?
No, I can just confirm gender at this point. The 2 gunshot victims who were taken to Vanderbilt are female, one of whom is deceased, and the shooter is male, and he's African American.
Have the families been notified of the death?
That has taken place or is taking place.
Do we know any ages?
We know that the shooter is 17. I don't have ages for you on the 2 gunshot victims at this point. No, all of those questions will be a topic for the homicide unit to delve into.
Do we have a motive yet?
No. All right, that's what we have for now. We'll be back here shortly with more. Thank you.
That was the press conference from on site at the Antioch High School. When we come back, we'll keep you updated on what he said. If you guys happen to miss it, I got a few notes for you guys and all that kind of stuff. And we'll also carry the presser later that he just said that would be up again shortly here as this thing continues. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop, Zach Lyons on 105 The Zone.
It's a new year and time to start on your wellness goals. So if you've been nagging with pain or injury that has been keeping you from fully enjoying your favorite sports or activities like golf, tennis, or whatever it is, now is the time to finally take care of it. And Edge Peptide and Hormone Therapy has multiple regenerative treatment options for treating, healing, and recovering from your injuries or pain. And Edge has everything from PRP treatments to stem cell therapy. And Edge focuses on your body's natural ability to heal, and the ultimate goal is to always avoid surgery if possible. And reduce joint pain and inflammation, promote tissue repair, and even improve mobility and function. And the new year should be about healing, and Edge is here to make sure that can happen. All you have to do is call one of Edge's comprehensive consultants to create the perfect treatment plan for you at some of the most aggressive pricing you've ever seen in the area. So spend this month restoring so you can thrive for the rest of the year. And all you have to do is just go to the website of edgepeptide.com. Yes, that's edgepeptide.com. Or you can just give them a call at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878.
This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. We are right now kind of covering the information on regarding the shooting over at Antioch High School. Here's the latest that we have gotten right now is that there are 2 dead, 2 injured. And one of the 2 dead is a female victim. The other one is the shooter, who is a 17-year-old male student who is dead. And then this took place in the cafeteria as well. Though one of the people injured is a female victim who has a graze wound, and I believe I'm not entirely sure where she's hospitalized at. And then there is also a male student that has been injured. There is a facial injury, but it is not a gunshot injury. They're not exactly sure where the injury happened or how it occurred at this point in time. There were 2 SROs in the building, but they were not in the immediate vicinity in the cafeteria. The person given the press conference, we weren't able to catch his name or his rank, but he also was asked a question about metal detectors in the school. He said through his walkthrough, he did not see any, but that is a question for the school.
Goodness. Yeah.
So he wasn't doing that. He did talk about the Family Assistance Center that has been set up. And again, that Family Assistance Center is at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, the St. Thomas Ascension over there. The reunification number to locate your student is 615-401-1712. They're still loading students up on buses. Even those that have access to a car on site are being loaded up onto those buses because they do not want anybody driving off the parking lot until they make sure that the whole situation is stabilized and all the chaos has come down. So make sure that you guys understand that even the car riders, if you have students that drove or ride in cars, they will be at that site as well. Again, that number is 615-401-1712. 3754 Murfreesboro Pike is where they are going to be at. And there's also for Antioch families and students, MNPS social workers and guidance counselors will be available to support you and your students at the Family Assistance site at St. Thomas, 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. There will be another press conference that is supposed to come up, and once that press conference also comes up, we'll try to toss it over there as quickly as possible. They did say the campus is stabilized. They're waiting for the campus to be stabilized, including the parking lots, before they release any cars. Mm-hmm. They did not give us any names. Yeah. So we have no names of anybody so far. A female has been wounded. A male has been wounded, but not a gunshot injury. It's a facial injury. The female that's been wounded did have a bullet grazer. We kind of missed which part of the body it was. So if we get that information, we'll also let you know on that. No motive yet of the reason behind the shooting itself. The 2 other people was the shooter that is dead and a female victim that is also dead. So 2 dead off of this. One, the victim, a female victim. The other one, a 17-year-old male student. So as more information comes in, we will give you that information again. If you have someone affected by this that is a student that you need to go pick up or get, you need to go to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. You also need to call 615-401-1712 with any kind of questions or any kind of information necessary. That is the reunification number to locate your student, 615-401-1712. 1712. We'll be following closely WSMV for when the next press conference comes up.
Yeah. Also, if you got any information that you need us to get out to people that maybe we're not, relaying over to you guys, we're all a community here. You can call us at 737-1045 Jackson to get it, and even informing us so we can inform everyone at the same time, something that maybe we missed here in the whole.
I know
Incident,
that
really.
apparently I'm hearing from some of my friends that are parents that other schools around the area are under lockdown currently.
Okay.
So you may be having trouble trying to reach your kids at other schools. I don't know what all schools that are, but I did hear that from a friend who was trying to go pick up his son, and they're under lockdown right now. So that may be another issue that needs to be
Cane
kept
Ridge
an
is
eye
over
on.
there, I think.
But like I said, parents needing information regarding reunification can call 615-401-1712. All students, including car riders, will be taken to a bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. So basically, every student is going to be over there at this point in time. So as more information comes, we'll be able to give you that information. I know this sounds like a broken record, but you never know who is actually
Just
tuning
taking their
in
car.
or getting into their car, listening to the car. So this is something that we'll be covering through its entirety until things have officially stabilized and closed over there.
So I'm assuming they didn't have any metal detectors.
I mean,
you just never know these days how they can.
I'm not
sneak
going
things in.
to get into that. I could just tell you what that guy said. That guy said, whoever was the man speaking at the press conference said he was asked a question about metal detectors. He said that he didn't see any in his field of vision.
Right.
So that is a question that is going to go towards the school on that. So she was the other female that is injured was grazed by a bullet in the arm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I heard graze wound. I just didn't hear what part it was. Thanks to the people in the F&M Bank chat on Zone TV, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live of Football Fred, he said she was hit in the arm. Bruce Rhodes, don't know what school that his wife works for, but their school's on lockdown as well. So as we get into this, we'll just keep giving you information and all that kind of stuff. Again, we're talking about the shooting at Antioch High School, where two are dead, including the shooter. One female is dead. One female is injured. She had a bullet graze her arm, and then one male is injured, not related to gunshot injuries. It is a facial injury of some sort. We don't have much information to go off of on that. And as soon we know that there's supposed to be a second presser pretty shortly. As soon as that presser happens, we will, of course, kick it over to there as well. Again, Antioch families and students, MNPS, social workers and guidance counselors will be available to support you and your student at the Family Assistance Site, 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. The reunification number to locate your student is 615-401-1712. The man speaking was Don Aaron, I assume of MNPD. I'm not sure, but Don Aaron was the man that was speaking in the press conference earlier. Just to keep it going, parents needing information regarding reunification can call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders. Essentially, I know that the station, our hearts go out to those that are affected by this, the students, the ramifications after this, because there's obviously going to be, people that need counseling after the fact, people that need to seek, some sort of counseling. There's plenty of options out there for you. Make sure that you guys take advantage of all the counseling options across Middle Tennessee, and specifically what Antioch, St. Thomas is providing you at the Family Assistance Site. They're providing you MNPS social workers and guidance counselors available to support you and your student at the Family Assistance Site at St. Thomas, 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. Again, 2 dead, including the shooter at Antioch High. Parents call 615-401-1712 for reunification information. The other 2 is a female who had a bullet graze her arm, and She is currently at the hospital. Then the other one is a male student who has suffered a facial injury, but not due to a gunshot, according to Don Aaron. And as well as the shooter was a 17-year-old male student. He is been officially declared dead. And then also a female victim has also died. They have released no names right now. And so we do not have any information on that. We do not have any information on a motive as well. So while we're waiting for the next press conference to happen, we'll just keep you guys informed. If you guys have any helpful information, feel free to call in currently. But, devastating news out of Antioch. 2 dead, including the shooter, 2 other students injured, 1 male, 1 female. The male is a facial injury, not due to gunshot. And then the female was grazed into with an arm, a shot through the arm. She was grazed on her arm by a bullet. This happened in a cafeteria. The 2 SROs in the building were not in the immediate vicinity in that cafeteria, but they were quick to react as soon as it all went down. We don't know how many, if any, metal detectors are inside the building, and Don Aaron was not able to, give us that information. And Don Aaron, I believe, is fixing to come back on here shortly. So as soon as we see his face come up on the TV, we'll let you guys know. It looks like buses are starting to pull in to the Family Assistance Center, it looks like, to drop off some students. So some families will be reunited with, their kids. Again, no names to give you, no motive yet. Ascension Medical Group is where it is at, and that's 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. The reunification number to locate your student is 615-401-1712, 1712. As soon as we get any more information, again, we will make sure that you guys have that information as well. We're on WSMV Channel 4, I believe, so we're streaming a little bit behind. So I believe he is about to be on. So as soon as we see his name or see him, step up there on WSMV 4 and what we're streaming on our site, we'll toss it over to them. Jackson will keep me updated on that. So I believe that he is going to be up there any minute now, according to the chat. So the chat is telling us that, he should be up soon.
Great job by Bananas and Jackson getting us all the information. Now getting a caption on the TV there, we'll at least have the words on the screen there. So for this horrific event. Now this is 2 in 2 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do better. We got to do better.
No joke. No joke. I could go on and on about the ridiculousness of gun safety and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as we get to Don Aaron, I think, guys, I think we're behind. Can you pull up the timeline? Yeah, we're way behind. See that red bar? We gotta go all the way up.
You went too fast.
Okay, well. So we're trying to find, because apparently he's been on for 5 minutes, according to Holler and Dave. So we're trying to find where he's on at. He's not on WSMV4. Maybe Holler and Dave is watching an old one. I don't know. So we're trying to find where. Okay, so gotcha. So Channel 5, did you put that over the air? Okay, so Channel 5 is playing a recording of what we've already played. So we're on Channel 4, WSMV, who's carrying everything live. So Channel 5 is carrying the recording of what we have already played. So WSMV 4 is got a live shot right now of everything that is happening. at right. They were showing Ascension at that point. So that is Ascension is where 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. The reunification number to locate your student, 615-401-1712. Again, Antioch High School shooting, 2 dead, including the shooter. The other person dead is a female victim. There are 2 also injured. One is a female that was grazed by a bullet in the arm, and the other one was a male that has facial injuries but not gunshot injuries. So as soon as WSMV4 carries the next press conference, we'll toss it over. Right now, just some more information. We're of course talking about the shooting incident that has happened at the Antioch High School. 4 people were involved in the shooting. One is dead and is the shooter. The other one that is dead is a female injured as well, and she is dead. And then there is a female that has a graze wound from a bullet in her arm, and then the male has a facial injury, not gunshot injury related. The shooter, who, as I repeat, is dead, is a 17-year-old male student at Antioch High. We have no motive. We have no other ages besides the shooter currently. As well, 2 SROs were in the building, not in the immediate vicinity in the cafeteria, but they did respond swiftly as possible, according to Don Aaron. Don Aaron also did not have full information on if there are metal detectors inside the building. He did not see any in his field of vision, but it does not necessarily mean that there aren't any inside the building. That is something that he is going to let the school talk about at this point, last he said. And again, parents needing information regarding reunification can call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders as well. Again, until the campus is stabilized, including the parking lots, they will not be releasing any cars out that have already been parked on campus at Antioch High School. We'll keep you guys updated. Again, if there is a press conference, he said there would be another one very quickly. We'll throw it to that and play that in its entirety as well. So, and don't forget, the most important thing is the MNPS social workers and guidance counselors will be available to support any of the students or families affected by this. They are going to be available at the Family Assistance Site, 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. The reunification number to locate your student is 615-401-1712. When we come back, we'll keep providing you any updates or information as it comes to us. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. This is cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. The police chief will be the one up at the presser next. As soon as we hear from him, we will get that to you live. And you guys may be wondering, why is a sports show talking about this? And, well, pretty much we know that people always tune into our show, and they may need this information if they haven't received it yet. And we want to provide as much information to our listeners because a lot of our listeners are probably affected by this in some form or fashion. And I think it's our duty to make sure that you, the listener, stay informed when there is a crisis that is happening in our area. Parents needing, of course, we're talking about the Antioch High School shooting. We got 2 dead, including the 17-year-old shooter. The other person dead is a female victim. There is 1 female victim that has been grazed in the arm by a bullet. 1 male victim that has suffered a facial injury but is not gunshot related. We have no motive, no names, and just that information right now. A 17-year-old male student has been identified as the shooter, and he is dead. If you're a parent that needs information regarding reunification, you can call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders. If you or anyone you know is struggling, you can also call the Tennessee Mobile Crisis at 855-274-7471. They will connect you with a trained crisis professional in your area who can provide services or make a referral for any further needs. And again, we've heard from Don Aaron, who is the police spokesperson. We are still waiting to hear from the police chief, who will come up here shortly, from what we understand, to talk, maybe provide us with more information. And as far as car riders, any kind of student will be, and we're watching WSMV4, and they are on the scene, and we see the buses pulling up at the facility to drop off kids. That is where you can have your reunification with your student. If you need more information, you call 615-401-1712, and that address is 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. 2 SROs were in the building, not in the immediate vicinity of the cafeteria when the shooting occurred, but they did respond quickly. As far as a question of metal detectors, we have not heard anything concrete about metal detectors. We have heard from Don Aaron, who said in his field of vision he did not see any metal detectors, but he would let the school comment on that. And again,
it looks like I think they did. I think they just didn't see it that he went a different way. But we'll be sure to hear.
Yeah,
second here at the presser. I hope, man. You would think that they would, though. I don't know.
I've seen a few people that have kids that have gone to school say, not Antioch, but say that apparently statewide metal detectors or something. I don't know. So we'll just keep going with the information we got instead of making, don't want to take what the chat says as news, that's for sure. And that's not a knock on the chat. I just, I don't want to get us in trouble for providing wrong information. Yeah. Again, we have 2 injured, 2 dead in this Antioch High School shooting. The high school shooter is dead, and he's a 17-year-old male. The other dead is a female. And then we have 1 female injured, 1 male injured. The female injured had a bullet graze her arm. The male had a facial injury, but it was not a gunshot injury at this time. And again, we're talking about the Antioch High School shooting. Kids are currently on the bus waiting, I guess, access to be able to come off the bus currently at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, which is St. Thomas Ascension, I guess is the correct word to call it. And they are at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. This includes car riders. So if your student rides in a car to school with another student, or your student drives that car, they will be there at that facility. Their car is going to stay at Antioch High School until the whole situation and environment is stabilized and safe. They're not letting any cars leave. So you got to go get them or check in on them at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, or call the number 615-401-1712. If you or anyone you know is struggling, you can also call Tennessee Mobile Crisis at 855-274-7471. They will connect you with a trained crisis professional in your area who can provide services or make a referral for any further needs. This really puts things into perspective. We spend a lot of time, placing importance on such trivial things in the sports world. And then something like this happens, and it really just makes everything else seem inconsequential when it comes down to it, because loss of life, especially young loss of life this in senseless gun violence situations, as we have seen across America over the many, many years. I was alive for Columbine, so I mean, it's been a long time, and I'm sure there were some before even Columbine, but that was like the first one that really captured the attention of everything. Mental health is a real issue. I really do encourage everybody. I mean, I see a therapist, and I'm not ashamed to say it on air in front of everybody, and you guys should not be ashamed to go see one. Please go see a therapist, a counselor of some sort, if you feel that you are just feeling depressed, down, angry. It helps for everything. It really does. It is a great resource, and I really encourage everybody to take advantage of those kinds of situations. Again, we are not really talking sports. We're talking about Antioch High School's shooting as well. 2 dead, including the shooter, 2 more injured. The 2 dead is a 17-year-old male who is the shooter. And then another one is one of the female victims is also dead. There is another female victim where she had a bullet graze her arm. She has a wound there. And then also there is another male who is injured, has a facial injury, not gunshot-related injury. As soon as we get any further information or details, we will make sure to let you guys know. We're expecting the police chief to hold a presser here soon, maybe waiting for all the kids to come off the bus that are there before he holds the presser. I don't know, but as soon as we have any kind of information, we will carry that press conference live.
Prayers for those families all involved, and condolences, man.
Yeah, hearts go out, thoughts and prayers go out, because this is just, it's terrible every time it happens. It makes me sad. It makes me angry. I have to be very measured on what I say on here, because I know this is a very sensitive topic. But this is just, as always, just so senseless and unnecessary that this happens at least once a year. And I mean, it happens more than that. I know it does. It's just, it's one time is too many. And we're getting it way at a higher rate than anywhere else right now. And I want it to stop. Like, I wish it would just stop. And I know that's never probably going to happen, but we should at least be striving as a nation to make that happen any way that we can. And that's just kind of how I feel about that. Again, mental health, really a big issue. Gun violence, a big issue. There are ways to mitigate all those kinds of issues as well. So make sure that you guys are seeking the help that you may need, regardless of if it's depression, if it's anger, it doesn't matter. Always go seek the help when it's available to you. When we come back, we'll continue to keep you guys updated. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. Just real quick, we're still waiting for the police chief to come up for the next presser. We're not getting any new information currently. It seems the information has kind of stalled, so I'm just going to provide you the information that we have right now of the Antioch High School shooting. We have 2 people dead, including the shooter, and a female victim. We have 2 additional people injured, a female where a bullet grazed her arm, and also a male where the has a facial injury but not a gunshot injury. Unclear how he received the injury to his face. The shooter is a male student, 17 years old, and he is dead. No motive yet, and no names to give you as of right now. As soon as we see the police chief come up, we'll transfer to that. Parents needing information regarding reunification can call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders. That's very important. If your student drives a car, or if your student rides with a car or rides within a car with another student, they will not have access to their car as of right now until the situation, including the parking lots, is more stabilized and safe and secure. The other information, as well as if you or anyone you know is struggling, you can also call Tennessee Mobile Crisis at 855-274-7471. They will connect you with a trained crisis professional in your area who could provide services or make a referral for any further needs. Again, when the police chief comes up, we will toss to that. We are watching vigilantly WSMV Channel 4, awaiting for him to come up and speak to everybody to provide us with more information.
Well, I'm going to say this. This is according to, I think you know him, Bam, who calls in sometime. He says one of the kids involved is Solomon Henderson.
Gotcha.
And I think he may have been the shooter.
Okay. We'll see what comes up after that. We should know here pretty soon. I'm going to do the most unfortunate thing here is transition to sports because we aren't getting any real new information from WSMV4. We're going to transition to sports, and then we'll keep you updated whenever it's possible. Go ahead.
Here's the easy transition.
You go ahead if you think it's easy.
Here's the easy transition. Trent Baalke from the Jaguars, the GM, has been fired. Now we can start with the negativity, and then that from the negative TV to what's going on here to now more negativity in sports.
Well, here you go. So this is from Shad Khan. Following several discussions with Trent Baalke this week, we both arrived at the conclusion that it is in our mutual best interests to respectfully separate effective immediately. Trent leaves us with my deepest appreciation for his efforts over the past 5 seasons. Ethan Wall, WAUGH, will serve as interim general manager and play an important role with others as we continue the process of interviewing candidates to serve as our head coach. I am deeply committed to building a winner here in Jacksonville and look forward to introducing a new head coach who will make that happen for our players and fans alike. So, if you think the Tennessee Titans handled their process poorly, which they did, this is the one way you could do a process even worse. Is what the Jacksonville Jaguars did. Everybody knew that it was so silly to keep Trent Baalke as the new head coach. And now what you have done is Ben Johnson pulled himself and eliminated himself from
and that's what everybody thought was going to go to the Jaguars. And I bet this GM issue may have caused Khan to act.
Exactly. So that's what will happen there. The next situation is that then it was announced today that Liam Cohen took the Buccaneers job, or it got an extension from the Buccaneers because they didn't want him to leave. But would he have taken the job if Trent Baalke wasn't there? And everybody and their mama said, if you keep Trent Baalke, you will eliminate several coaching candidates from your job. And they said, no, this is going to be a sought-after job. It doesn't matter if Trent Baalke is here or not. but that is that situation there.
Khan
And-
even said if it was a coach of of substance, like a Belichick or somebody, that he could let Baki go.
Yeah.
He said it in an interview.
So in
He
this
did it,
particular
yeah.
situation, this is probably the one situation that was handled worse from the outset than the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
By a large mile. This is a terrible.
Right. That's just really bad. Good for the Titans in that sense. And also, speaking of Tampa Bay, your guy who was up for the job, Spytek.
Spytek went to the Las Vegas Raiders. He's the general manager over there. Strong
Brady
connection
relation.
to Tom Brady. From what I understand, John Spytek was the guy right after Mike Berganzi in the rankings for the new GM job. So there we go. As far as that kind of information right there. Aaron Glenn hired at the New York Jets. Great hire by the Jets. He is building some kind of all-star staff, or at least attempting to build an all-star staff there. Now, listen.
Great human being, by the way.
Oh,
I played
Aaron
with
Glenn
him,
is fantastic.
Some Pro Bowls. What a fantastic, and a little tiny guy too, man.
Yeah,
Intense.
it's being reported that he's looking at guys like Steve Wilkes as his defensive
DC.
coordinator.
I know Mark Brunell, former quarterback with the Jaguars.
Really, to be honest with you, Mark Brunell, Chris Banjo as special teams coach. That may not be a name that people recognize, but it's one that I recognize. Former Bears interim head coach Thomas Brown, former Chiefs head coach Todd Haley, Mike Westhoff as well. Maybe will come out of retirement, but there's a very few coordinators out there. When the Tennessee
He's not bringing in first timers
Right.
too at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. When I was there, when I was doing research for the head coaching open for the Tennessee Titans, I was like, Aaron Glenn, I don't know. And when you really do the research on him and hear how basically his wife forced him out of the house because he wouldn't quit working on football, and he went and became a scout, called Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells put him in as a scout, made him work his way up from intern
And that's
all
the
the way
only way
through
he
anything.
wanted it, by the way.
Yeah, that's how he wanted it. I look at this, and he is one of the more impressive people, general manager candidates, head coaching candidates, does not matter. One of the more impressive people that I've ever read about. Like, if he had a book, I'd probably have that book right now. And because I find his philosophy, his approach to the game, all of this just so it's incredible. It is. And listen, I know that it doesn't result in maybe, it's not a sexy name, I guess.
Oh.
Because he is a defensive head coach.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a guy that is experienced, gets the most out of his players. You saw it all year long. I mean, when you
With
have
the
Kamani
Saints, he was with the
Vildor,
Saints.
yep, with the Saints, Kamani Vildor out there as well. When you have someone like that out there playing meaningful snaps and they're still playing at a pretty good level for the NFL, a guy that the Tennessee Titans gave up on, he turned into something. And this is cream of the crop to me. Now, here's the thing.
You got a quarterback.
Well, the whole thing is
That's fresh.
what about the rest of the dysfunction at over there at the New York Jets? The owner, the Madden boys that are constantly, I guess, influencing decisions based on Madden.
Would you have gone to the Saints?
I'm very surprised he didn't go to the Saints because of his history with the Saints.
Because
But they probably, from what was reported yesterday, they were in can't let him leave in the building kind of mode.
That's right.
So the Jets,
Team who actually drafted him out of college, by the way.
So, and he has some history with the Jets there as well. So that's a guy that, I look at it and I go, they paid the man handsomely and made sure that he didn't leave for a reason. Now, who's the GM? I don't think that has been announced yet. So that will be a big thing. Who's going to be the general manager with him? At one point, it was Lance Newmark, who is, I think, coming from the Commanders. He's let me just make sure on that.
He has a relationship. Whoever the GM's going to be, they have a relationship with.
So it's Lance Newmark, who is the assistant general manager for the Commanders, was the name associated with him, who came from the Detroit Lions. So he became assistant general manager of the Commanders when Adam Peters got hired. And then he's been with the Lions since 1998. So from 1998 all the way to 2023, he was with the Detroit Lions. So a lot of experience with what they did over there with Aaron Glenn. So that will likely be the general manager candidate. So, like I said, he's just an incredible football mind that his big thing is I can sit in front of specifically a defensive back. Now, this was when he was a defensive backs coach, not necessarily a defensive coordinator, but he could sit in front of a player and know within 5 to 10 minutes whether he was going to be that guy. And he was a big Chauncey Gardner-Johnson supporter when nobody else was in the room. That was a guy that you can 100% link since high school to Aaron Glenn. And to me, and Aaron Glenn fought for him when he's at the Saints to get him down there. And then he came over to the Lions when he was over there. He's also been at the Eagles a few times. But, like, that is a guy, he goes,
he's a good player.
Bad attitude. Like, I mean, that was his big knock coming out of college. Is this guy's got a bad attitude. And Aaron Glenn said, he's got the right attitude for me. And that's what he kept saying. Because you sit in front of him, he said, for 5 to 10 minutes, you'll know what kind of person he really is. And there ain't nothing wrong with having, a chip on your shoulder, an attitude on the field. And that's how Aaron Glenn does it. Because, Aaron Glenn, undersized.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely is. He's tiny.
Yeah.
And I've seen him do some remarkable things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can tell a quick story like on Aaron Glenn. Is we're at the Pro Bowl, and then we all do our own drills. We all, try to do a drill, see if you can outdo the other DB and everybody else, see if they can do the drill and everything. And then Aaron Glenn gets up there and does a drill, and everybody goes, oh, no, we're not even going to try that. That's how quick and lightning quick he was doing the drill. No one even attempted to even try to do the drill. So it was pretty fascinating. But, man, he really sharp, smart guy, smart football player. You see when he was a player and even now as a DC, he deserves a shot. Get a shot and see where he goes. I was just a little surprised because he went to A&M. He's from Houston. He owned like 8 Frenchy restaurants down there, and then sold them because his wife said, you're always correcting the TV. Maybe you should be out there. Maybe you should be coaching. And that kind of started the trend of him, starting to coach. And he said, I want to start at the bottom, work my way up. And that's only fitting. That's what you want.
Remarkable journey. Yeah. I mean, just everything about him is top notch.
Same things that made him a great player because he shouldn't have been doing what he was doing in the NFL. When you see him in person, you go, oh, my. And then you see him play, you go, oh, I see why.
He's got that attitude like you got.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, I'm a little undersized or I'm not as big as the other guys, but I'm going to know everything about the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was.
So we'll keep you guys updated on the Antioch High School shooting. We are still waiting a presser from the police chief. For those that may not know right now, just got in your car, there are 2 dead and 2 injured from a shooting in the cafeteria at Antioch High School. One of the dead is including the shooter, 17-year-old male. On top of that, one of the female victims is dead. There is another female victim who had a bullet graze her arm. And then there is another male victim who suffered a facial injury, not gunshot related either. We have no motive yet to our knowledge at this point. And as soon as we have any kind of information, we'll let you guys know. Parents needing information regarding reunification can call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders, because they're not letting any cars leave the parking lot. All students, roughly 2,000 of them, have to get on the bus and be transferred over here until the whole situation is stabilized, safe, and secure. So that is where all the parents need to go. 615-401-1712 if you need any information further. There's also going to be counselors on site provided by them as well. So if you are a family member or student, please take advantage of that if you need it. You can also, if you or anyone you know is struggling, you can also call Tennessee Mobile Crisis at 855-274-7471. They will connect you with a trained crisis professional in your area who can provide services or make a referral for any further needs. We'll keep you updated as it goes on. We'll also try to continue some football talk amid all of this. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Did you know Eurofix has a very different business philosophy? They staff all their locations with more staff than the average auto repair shop, just so they can be ready for when an emergency pops out of nowhere. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to get a right now appointment for a vehicle repair? Some dealers can be more than 2 weeks out just to get a freaking appointment, but not Eurofix. Eurofix has been offering quality repairs that beat the dealer without the dealer pricing since 1999. Plus a 3-year nationwide warranty and the staff to fix your car right now. So if you're tired of waiting forever to get your car into the shop, then call Eurofix. Owner Aaron Stokes says we will never be too busy for our customers. We're here to take their pain away, and we mean right now. And Eurofix repairs all European cars, and Eurofix says yes to speedy repair when others can't or won't. Family owned for 26 years. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com. Rose and Blazer.
This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. Powered by all Four Seasons Garage Stores. We'll keep you updated as things progress with the Antioch High School shooting. Again, 2 dead, including the shooter. The other person dead is a female victim. Then you also have a female victim that has a bullet graze on her arm. You also have a male victim that is injured. He has a facial injury, not gunshot-related injury. It's a 17-year-old male student is the shooter, and he is dead. We're still waiting for the police chief to come up for the presser next. So as soon as that happens, we will throw to it live. Parents needing information regarding reunification can call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders. That is important if you're a student that you are looking for. Drives a car or rides in a car with a student driver. They will not have access to their car until the whole situation is stabilized. They will be at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. And, of course, if you or anyone you know is struggling, you can also call Tennessee Mobile Crisis at 855-274-7471. They will connect you with a trained crisis professional in your area who can provide services or make a referral for any further needs. And, of course, our hearts, our thoughts, and our prayers are out there to all those affected by this high school shooting. And, again, as soon as the police chief comes up, we'll be the one, we'll carry that presser as well. We are going to transition to talking about the Tennessee Titans. It is a day that the new general manager, Mike Bergonzi, who has an awesome Boston accent. First thing I picked up on was he has an awesome Boston accent. So he had his press conference today. There was also Chad Brinker was on Ramon Kalen Will in the 7 o'clock hour, 7:20 a.m. segment. Central Standard Time, if you want to go find that on YouTube or in podcast form. Much more football interview, I would say, from Ramon Kalen Will. Chad Brinker also talked about, had a closed media roundtable discussion with the rest of the media at 10 a.m., where they asked a bunch of pointed questions and really tried to get to the bottom of everything that happened. Chad Brinker gave some interesting answers, which we can only read. We don't get to hear how he answered them, but I've heard lots of voice going up in certain positions. So, if your voice goes up, hey, what do you think? How do you think I look in this dress? And you respond, well, yeah, you look good. You're probably lying. so, that kind of situation. But let's start, if you don't mind. We'll go through a couple of the notes that I've jotted down. We'll start with the Ramon Kalen Will spot with Chad Brinker. Just real quick, just some stuff I wanted to throw out there. Apparently, Mike Bergonzi, according to Chad Brinker, brought out a 260-page binder on how he, as a GM, will attack everything if he were to be hired. If you guys know anything about Chad Brinker, he falls in love with books. It's Moneyball was the big inspiration for him going on this journey while he was in, I think, NFL Europe or something. So I'm not surprised that the first thing out of his mouth when talking about Mike Bergonzi is some nerd binder, which, listen, I'm a nerd binder kind of guy, so I'm not trying to downplay it, but 260 pages. He did mention Ron Wolf and the Packers, the draft and develop strategy, which the develop part I thought was, very interesting. Was what Coach Mack said, it's about drafting and developing the roster, not developing the players. Because I instantly went, well, why is the GM responsible for developing the players? And that Coach Mack clarified, if you missed him on our show yesterday in podcast form, wherever you get your 105 The Zone, developing the roster. You continue to develop the roster. And I thought that was very interesting. And the big question is when it comes to draft and develop, he says, look, everyone talks about it. Chad Brinker says, this isn't something new. Everyone talks about it, but can you truly execute it is a different question. He felt that Mike Bergonzi was the most well-rounded general manager prospect and the guy that has shown that he can truly executed. So I just want to get your thoughts on all that.
Well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding, just like he said. So, I'm ready to see who they accumulated in the draft. And first and foremost, the free agency. Will there be cuts before all of that happens with some veteran guys? And what is his vision of what he thinks you need to have in an actual player? I think he kind of went through some of those things. But one thing that was clear through his interview, though, was that he has final say-so on the roster. Pretty much, he just kind of gets the stamp of approval, but it seems like it was most of going to be his work. Yeah, so that's what I took from it.
Yeah,
and I don't know, maybe you took it a little bit differently.
Well, he's trying the way that Chad Brinker, Mike Berganzi, and I think Brian Callen kind of according to them, we way overblow this final say decision. Now, here's the thing. It's all
if
about,
it's a tiebreaker, I'm thinking that's when.
Well, it's Brinker.
Right.
We know that. I mean, he's already said that. But, like, to me, it's, we're not overblowing it. We need to know. Someone has to be held accountable, right? So, like, this idea that we're overblowing the accountability, I feel, is kind of a farce.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, though. I think what they're trying to say, I'm trying to sparse words, but what happens is, as your build up into the draft, is you're kind of making those decisions on the build up. It's not really on the actual draft day.
Which we'll get to that because that's what Mike Berganzi and Chad said later. But like initially, what I'm saying is that it's not overblown because we need to know because they have not let us know. And from what they have said, it just never really comes out that way either. They've been kind of...
You talking about today?
Yeah. Well, I mean, before now. So we can't overblow something. What I'm saying is he's saying that it was way overblown. Oh, well, our coverage of it.
Brinker has the final say-so.
Right. But he's saying, but then there was that confusion and all of that. And everybody's saying it's way overblown. And it is not that kind of situation to me. I don't think it's overblown.
And why do you not think? I mean, because
we should know clarity.
Yeah,
they think that it doesn't really matter because you guys aren't inside the building. Well, that's true. That's why we need to know.
No, you know what that sounds like when you ask your mom why can't you do something? They said because I said so.
Because I said so.
Yeah, well that's what that is.
It's interesting because Brinker was asked in his private meeting, and we're got the press conference on right now. We're going to go to the police chief right now. I believe or maybe that's Aaron Donald. I don't know, but we're going.
Thank you, Don, and thank you all for being here during this unfortunate time. What we know thus far is that we had a male student that was 17 years old that rode the bus this morning to Antioch High School. During the course of the morning, this individual made his way to the cafeteria where he then confronted a 16-year-old, as we identified as a female Hispanic student, fired, striking her. She is deceased. There is another male, 17-year-old young man that was wounded with a graze wound, and he has been treated at Vanderbilt and released. The shooter was 17 years old. He entered into the cafeteria, firing multiple rounds in the cafeteria, striking her, and then before pulling the weapon on himself. From that point, at 11:11, we started receiving calls for service. Officers responded and found the male shooter deceased in the cafeteria. We've been working with our state and federal partners on the identification and notifications of all. From that point, our SWAT team began systematic searches throughout the entire school to make sure there weren't any more victims or shooters within the school. We did not find any more. Since that time, we have started a family assistance center where we've worked very closely with Metro Schools. The Family Safety Center is right behind us at the Ascension Medical Center. we are systematically releasing young students to that location to be connected back with their parents. We've done that systematically so we wouldn't overload the parents or the school system, so that we could get everyone back connected. The investigation is still very much ongoing as to a motive. We're looking into that. There are some materials on the internet that we're looking at that's under the investigation on the initial stages, but we'll continue to follow up on that. We've had a great partnership with Metro Schools, great communication with the fire department, with TBI, FBI, and ATF. And we'll continue the investigation, which will go until the wee hours of the morning. Please look at our platforms for further information. At this time, I will turn this over to Mayor O'Connell.
Thank you, Chief Drake. As a city, as a community, it is impossibly difficult to be here once again dealing with the devastation of gun violence in one of our school communities. As a Metro Schools parent, I know how difficult it is to receive a notification of an emergency operation at a Metro school. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to receive the notification that there has been this level of violence in a school community. I want to say as much as I can about my gratitude to Chief Drake, to Dr. Battle, to Director Chief Swan, to our Department of Emergency Communications. The level of first response here once again highlights how important our community of collaboration is. The Family Service Center behind me has been focused on victims and their needs, and we will continue to be focused on that today and for the period to follow. There have been MMPD Wellness Team, there have been the Family Intervention Program, our Nashville Fire Department's EMS division has been deeply involved in this process, and we as a community will continue to rally to ensure that resources are available to those families who have been directly impacted by this incident, and certainly to the school community. I do want to invite Dr. Adrienne Battle up to talk about the Metro Schools response. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon. As you all can imagine, this is a heartbreaking day for the entire Antioch High School community and all of us here in Nashville and in Nashville Public Schools. Today, we lost students in a tragic incident. One student took his own life and the life of a peer, forever changing the lives of their families and everyone who knew them. My heart goes out to these families as they face unimaginable loss. At this time, we are grateful that no additional lives were lost, though at least one student is being treated for injuries. I want to thank the school staff who quickly followed emergency protocols, potentially preventing others from being harmed. Their actions were heroic on a dark day for our school community. I also want to extend my gratitude to the Nashville Police Department and Nashville Fire Department for their swift and urgent response, securing the school and caring for those impacted. This tragedy is under active investigation by law enforcement and district leadership. While we are focused on addressing the immediate situation, we are committed to understanding how and why this happened and what more we can do to prevent such tragedies in the future. Over the years, we have implemented a range of safety measures, including partnership with the MMPD through our School Resource Officer Program, shatter-resistant film, security cameras with weapon detection software, and security vestibules. Unfortunately, these measures were not enough to stop this tragedy. I know there are questions about whether additional steps such as stationary metal detectors should be considered. While past research has shown they have had limitations and unintended consequences, we will continue to exploring emerging technologies and strategies to strengthen school safety. Building strong relationships between students, staff, and SRO teams remains the most effective way to foster these relationships. In the coming days, we will continue to partner with MMPD and our school team. We want to continue to foster an environment where students feel safe to speak up when they see something concerning. It's important to remember that our schools have historically been safe places for learning, friendships, and growth. We cannot allow this tragedy to overshadow the positive experiences of our 80,000 students. As a former principal of Antioch High School, I've walked the halls and I've witnessed the magic that happens in its classrooms. This loss is deeply personal for me, as it is for so many in and throughout our community. Now, to allow time for students and staff to grieve, Antioch High School will be closed for the rest of this week. We are arranging a location where students and staff can receive grief counseling and other supports. As a middle school student at J.T. Moore, I experienced the pain of losing a classmate to gun violence. I know how deeply this affects families, school communities, and parents everywhere who send their children to school each day. National Public Schools are committed to supporting Antioch High School's students, staff, and families in the days and weeks ahead. I am grateful for the support of our Nashville community as we navigate this very difficult time together. I would like to introduce Chief Swan, who will approach the mic at this time.
So I know there's been a lot of information that's already been put out. From my standpoint and from the Nashville Fire Department and Office of Emergency Management, from the time that the call came in, we had 10 med units respond, along with 40 other apparatuses from the fire department, including our task force team that works so closely with the police department. We did do 4 transports, all of them going to Vanderbilt. Then other assessments were done, of course, with student and staff when it was needed. From our, then the Office of Emergency Management, they're here as well to also offer all resources that are needed. The important thing here is the collaboration of everyone that you see behind us to make this situation work as best as we can. But again, we're very appreciative of the team and all the hard work is done, but we know it's a very sad day. But that's the information I can give you from the National Fire Department Office of Emergency Management. Thank you.
The 4th student who was transported to Vanderbilt suffered a facial injury from a fall. It was not gunshot related. He's a male student and fell, I think he wears eyeglasses, and had a facial injury as a result of the fall, and that was the 4th individual who went to Vanderbilt. We will take a limited number of questions from you now.
So the investigation is very much ongoing. So we're unsure at this time if it was targeted or if it was intended for multiple people. As I said earlier, follow our platforms and we'll put that information out as we gain more information. Our homicide detectives are actively investigating this in conjunction with the FBI, ATF, and TBI. It's a
to try to prevent this?
So we've had several things in place. We have Dr. Battle's done a lot. We've done active shooter training. They put protective film, security access into the building. This individual arrived at school on a bus and was actively a student in the school, went into the restroom, I guess, to retrieve his weapon, and then went into the cafeteria. I would say if there's anything as we progress, to always, if you see something, say something. We believe there's some materials out there, and if maybe they were seen, maybe and said something, maybe more could have been done.
Chief Drake, do we know if the shooter had a criminal history or if he has a history of bringing guns to school?
That's very much under investigation. I think there was one prior incident, but I'm unsure as to the details, but we will put that out later today.
The material that was found online, has it been vetted? Has it been confirmed that that is part of the shooter's manifest?
We're very much looking into it, and we'll let everyone know once we get there.
The victim herself was Hispanic. What services are going to be offered for this diverse community? We know that a lot of the students here are Latino families, and we're getting a lot of calls. They're obviously very distraught and kind of really don't understand what happened.
Yeah, it's the same as we do with all other students, and we have our family intervention program. We have counselors that are available. We have members of our department that are from the Hispanic community. We'll do everything we can to make sure all notifications are made, all outreach is taken care of, and any information we'll give to them. If they need to reach out, contact the police department, and we'll help, or the metro schools, and we'll help them with any information that they need.
Chief, have you been in contact with the shooter's parents or guardians, and have they been cooperating with the investigation?
Initially, we have made contact with a parent, and that's very much it's very much ongoing. So,
is there any information on where the student got the gun?
That is an active investigation as well. We work closely with our federal partners, and they're doing a trace on the weapon as we speak.
In terms of the reunification that we saw here today, can anybody speak about how that went, if everything kind of went smoothly, and if this site was already predetermined to be that,
So it was not predetermined to my knowledge. We determined to be a great site to have everyone meet a little bit away from the school. To my understanding, it's gone as well as can be expected at this point. As I said earlier, we've done it systematically. We didn't want to overload the school, the Ascension Center, or the parents. And so systematically, we've released a limited number of kids and got them connected back with their families. And that'll keep going until every kid is back safely with their parent. So.
Do you know how many bullet shots the victim received, and if the shooter maybe had more ammunition?
So there was multiple rounds that were fired inside the school. Investigation would tell if there was other magazines, other ammunition, and all that. As it unfolds, this will go into the wee hours of the morning, and we'll have more information later.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
That was the police chief, John Drake, addressing and answering questions from the press. As he said, the investigation will go in the wee hours of the morning. Lots of information there regarding the Antioch High School shooting, where a 16-year-old girl has been killed. A 17-year-old shooter turned the gun on himself, and he is also dead. He was dead when the police arrived. There was also a male injured, facial injury from a fall. Apparently wears glasses, not a gunshot injury, and another female was grazed, and she has since then, she had a bullet graze her wound. The young man's already been released and treated from the hospital at Vanderbilt. Everybody went to Vanderbilt Hospital. We'll update you more as things go on. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 105 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door, 615-737-1045. We just heard from John Drake, the police chief, at the press conference. He also answers the questions. Here's the latest with the Antioch High School shooting. The male student, 17 years old, is a shooter. He is dead. He rode the bus to the high school, made his way to the cafeteria, shot and killed a 16-year-old Hispanic female. The shooter is confirmed dead. He fired multiple rounds, striking her, and before pulling the weapon on himself. When officers arrived on the scene, the male shooter was deceased. There is another young man wounded with a graze wound at Vanderbilt, treated and released. Is not the. I'm a little confused on that part because they also said the facial injury is from a fall, not a gunshot injury. So maybe that is conflicting. Yeah, he wore glasses. So one of those is from the police chief. The other one is from the Don Aaron that came on after to, I guess, maybe clarify. Or maybe he meant the young woman who earlier was said was the female graze wound in the arm. They did change it. So there's two males now. Is that what you're saying, Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. So there's two males, one female, now three males involved.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the female or the young man wounded with the graze wound at Vanderbilt has been treated and released. There's another additional young man who had a facial injury from a fall, not a gunshot injury. And then there is the young 16-year-old Hispanic woman who has been deceased and killed. And then, of course, the 17-year-old school shooter turned the gun on himself. He's also killed. There's been systemic searches. No additional victims or shooters were found. The Family Assistance Center at the Ascension Medical Center. Parents needing information regarding reunification, call 615-401-1712. All students will be taken by bus to 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, including car riders and students who drove cars and students that ride with students who drove cars will not be will be picked up there as well. They're systematically releasing students to be reconnected. Done that to avoid chaos and all that kind of stuff. The investigation is ongoing as to a motive. There are materials that have surfaced on the internet that they're currently investigating. I've heard people reference TikTok in the press conference. So there are things that have popped up on the internet from the shooter regarding a motive. And essentially, again, reunification call 615-401-1712. If you or anyone you know is struggling, you can also call Tennessee Mobile Crisis at 855-274-7471. They will connect you with a trained crisis professional in your area who can provide services or make a referral for any further needs. There, I guess, was a call for additional metal detectors by a school district representative. There were two SROs in the building, but not in the immediate vicinity in the cafeteria. Again, they alluded to, the police chief alluded to there being a prior incident involving a gun, but they're not releasing that information until everything is confirmed. And this investigation, he said, will go into the wee hours of the morning. Obviously, as a result of this tragedy, Antioch High School is closed down for the rest of the week. And really, people should take advantage of the services being provided by Metro School District. They actually on site at the reunification site are providing some help. So Antioch families and students will have access to MNPS social workers and guidance counselors will be available for them. Again, 615-401-1712 at Ascension. Antioch Families Transportation Update. This came in at 51 minutes ago. So apologize missing that. Starting at 2:15 p.m., they will begin running regular bus routes leaving from the Family Assistance site at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike. So if your student is a bus rider, they're going to be heading on back on their normal route. Any students who usually take the bus to school will be delivered home on their normal routes if they haven't already been picked up. Students who drove to school will be brought back to Antioch High to get their car once police have cleared the parking lot. Students who walk to school will be taken by MNPS transportation back home if their parents don't pick them up. Students who are car riders can be picked up at 3754 Murfreesboro Pike, so there's some additional information there. Again, terrible tragedy. I know that today was supposed to be all about sports, but some things are bigger than sports, and I hope you guys appreciate all the information that we have been able to give you, and just be respectful that we couldn't go into sports. But guess what? You'll hear from us tomorrow. The REHL is up next as well. They will have Mike Berganzi on 3HL at some point during today's episode. Do we know what time, Joseph?
5 o'clock is when Mike
5 o'clock.
Borgonzi is scheduled to be with 3H.
Okay, so is he in studio or is he over the phone? Do we know?
Most likely over the phone.
Over the phone. So Mike Berganzi will have a 5 o'clock call with 3HL on top of that. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. I think instead of doing our usual outro, just say on behalf of Blaine Bishop and everybody, our hearts, our prayers, our thoughts are with the families that have been affected by this shooting. And other than that, we'll see you guys tomorrow.